All right, so it looks like censorship is still a big problem over at Twitter. Recently, a bunch of people have been locked out of their Twitter accounts just because they posted publicly available pictures and videos of this woman, Eliza Blue, and she wasn't too happy with that because she's being exposed as a possible fraud and a grifter. So, if you're not familiar with who she is, she claims to be a human trafficking survivor and activist. She's made a lot of podcast appearances recently, and she gained a lot of attention at the end of last year when she started helping Elon make changes to Twitter. But now, recently, she's being exposed, and people have started to question her stories and her motive. And instead of her responding to these people and addressing all this, or just ignoring all of it, she decided to try to use her influence at Twitter to have them silenced, which has only made this story bigger and made more people aware of it. And her story just doesn't really add up, and it looks like she's been lying about a lot, so it's hard to trust what she has to say. So I believe people started questioning her story in late December when this Twitter user posted a giant thread about how she never mentions this, but she's been trying to be an internet star for a long time now. She's been on reality shows, she's dated the lead singer for My Chemical Romance, she was friends with Jeffree Star, she's been on American Idol, she's done music videos. Her resume kind of reminds me of Trisha Paytas's. It's very similar to her. So that right there is not the best sign because, as you know, Trisha Paytas is somebody that does whatever she can to get attention and fame. And Eliza seems like the same kind of person with this kind of resume. But also, this shows that the timeline she's given with her trafficking story and everything and the ages she's given don't really add up. She's lying about something, or she just completely forgot what age she was and when this happened. You know, it's hard to prove that it's not true, like what she went through. But if you look at all these posts, it's hard to believe she was being trafficked at this time. So then more recently, on January 19th, Brittany Venti, who has a pretty big social media presence, and I believe she's talked to Eliza before on a podcast, she politely asked her about this topic. She quote tweeted this and she said, "Hey, Eliza, I know it's a sensitive topic. You don't have to go into detail about this, but I was hoping you could clarify some things because this thread conflicts with the timeline you've given and it could distract from your anti-trafficking message." And then Brittany made another tweet where she posted a picture of Eliza in this music video that she did, I think like 6 years ago. The video is available on YouTube and World Star Hip Hop. I believe it had a couple 100,000 views. And she posted this and said, "If she's addressed this before, let me know. I'm just curious because I came across this video. Maybe she was being trafficked via coercion. I don't know." And then right after Brittany tweeted this, she was locked out of her Twitter account, and they stated she was sharing or posting privately produced, distributed, intimate media of someone without their express consent. And then also some other people who were locked out of their accounts as well, like the Quartering. I think he posted the same thing. And of course, this only made the story bigger and made more people look into it. And Eliza did make a couple tweets addressing this. She said, "I'm going to address this one time and one time only. A non-consensual photo was posted of me yesterday on Twitter. The photos have been removed. The source of the photo has been contacted, and I'm prepared to escalate to the full extent of the law. Twitter did an outstanding job, and they will be excluded from legal action. There won't be anyone else involved spared. I take things all the way, and I have no chill. I'm a survivor advocate, and that doesn't stop with advocating for myself as a survivor." So she's trying to make it sound like this video was made and she didn't consent to it. You know, maybe she was coerced into doing this. So a lot of people started looking into this because this obviously got a lot of people's attention now. And people found out that she was in a lot of other music videos, and they found videos of her talking about how happy she was to be in these videos. And then also somebody reached out to World Star Hip Hop and asked them about it. They said she was paid for it and they owned the full rights to it. So it sounds like this is something she agreed to do and she was paid for it, but now it doesn't really fit her image and now she's just trying to hide it, and it's not going well because when you try to hide stuff like this, it only makes it bigger and makes more people talk about it. And now it seems like it's all starting to unravel for her because now everyone's just going to question everything she's talked about and everything she's done, and it's just really hard to take her seriously now, especially if you look back at some of her interviews. She doesn't really seem that professional, and it seems like she doesn't really know what she's talking about and she's kind of hiding something. But I think most people just wanted to take her word for it because who would lie about something that serious? And I guess it's possible she still isn't lying, but it's just hard to believe anything she has to say now, unless she like makes a video explaining everything and it all makes sense. But right now it's not looking good because also people dug up some clips of podcasts she was on, and one of them she did was with Michael Malice, and she started talking about how she was trafficked on Twitter. And Michael's like, what does that mean? Like, that doesn't really make any sense. And she starts talking about how people were using her picture to catfish other people, I guess. That's what it sounds like. And I guess she considers that trafficking, which is ridiculous.
I was trafficked on Twitter as well. So there's been 3 profiles to my knowledge that my former abusers made to traffic me on Twitter. I didn't realize because I kind of just signed up for Twitter in late 2019. So it was like one of the last few days of 2019, I signed up for Twitter.
But what does that mean that they trafficked you on Twitter? How can someone traffic you if they're not in contact with you?
Yeah, so the way that was working, I didn't know about the profiles existing because I wasn't on Twitter and I wasn't looking for them. The way that my former abusers were doing it is that it was going back to my Instagram. The Twitter accounts were linking back to my Instagram, and they were trafficking me off Instagram, Backpage, sugar daddy websites. I mean, whatever type of internet trafficking is what was happening. I'll go into more detail. So it looks like a profile. In my particular case, the profiles look like profiles that would be me, but trying to entice business to sell me, bringing it back to my Instagram where they were doing business.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell that's all about. And then there are other podcasts she was on where it just seems like she doesn't really know what she's talking about, and she's just like bullshitting her way through an interview. And it's clear this girl just wants attention. She's doing whatever she can to get it, and it worked. I mean, when she started talking to Elon about Twitter, she gained like 100,000 Twitter followers in less than a month. And then also, of course, she loves to talk about how important free speech is. She just tweeted this out like a week ago. She said, "I want to be crystal clear. I'll die on the hill of free speech in America," which is just hilarious because she's been using her influence to have all these people banned. Like, I just saw the original thread that I was reading about. That guy, I think, was just permanently banned. And the quartering, he was banned for like a week because he put out that tweet. I think he just got his Twitter account back, and now he's like really going after her. Like, the more people she bans, the bigger the story's gonna get. I don't know how she doesn't realize that. And this is making Elon look really bad because at this point he has to know what's going on. Like, Eliza's been trending on Twitter for like a week now, and a lot of people have been talking about this, and a lot of people have been tagging Elon in their tweets, and a lot of big right-wing Twitter accounts are talking about how this is a bad look for him and he needs to do something about it. But I don't think he's addressed it at all yet, and people are getting fed up with it because it is pretty ridiculous that Elon let this girl have so much control over at Twitter. Like, the fact that all these people are being banned and blocked and everything, it's not a good sign for Twitter. But it's really not that surprising. I mean, Elon, he's hung out with Amber Heard. I think they dated or they went out a few times. So clearly he's not the best judge of character. But it is just hilarious that Elon spent $40 billion to acquire Twitter, and now he's letting some blue-haired chick with a Tesla logo shaved into the side of her head destroy the platform. That's awesome. Like, a lot of people are losing faith over this. I saw a lot of people canceling their Twitter Blue subscriptions. Like, the quartering, that guy was a big Elon fan, like defending him as the CEO. Like, when Elon put out that poll if he should step down, the quartering was like panicking. He's like, "No, Elon, we need you." And now he's like, "Yeah, I don't trust this platform anymore. I'm done with my Twitter Blue subscription." So the longer Elon waits to address this and put a stop to it, the worse it's going to get. Like, the more this story's going to blow up. Like, luckily right now, a lot of the people that are friends with Eliza haven't been covering the story. Like Tim Pool, this seems like something he should be talking about. I mean, he makes like 4 or 5 videos a day and does a podcast every day. I think this is a big enough story to talk about, but I guess since he had her on his podcast like a month ago and he's kind of friendly with her, that means he's not going to cover it. Like, he did the same thing when Jack Murphy was getting called out. He like refused to address that. But, Tim has more important things to cover, I guess. All right, so that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you want any extra content, make sure you check out the Patreon. There should be another video up this week. And then make sure you hit the like button here. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about all this. Then hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you at the next video.